Hey guys, Pisces Priestess here. I want to spend a little bit of time, way too close camera. I want to talk a little bit about some things regarding my new videos coming out in September. Coming to you fresh out the shower, so definitely in a Pisces like energy, I guess, with water and everything like that. Fresh, mind clear, things like that. Might be lying a little bit about the mind clear part, but you know what I mean by clear, mind fluid, I guess it would be more accurate to say. But yeah, guys, my new videos in September, if you haven't watched yet, I'm actually glad that you're watching this one first. And if you have watched my astrology tarot videos for September, then perhaps you'll understand more after watching this video. Um, my new videos are very focused on the light and the dark because of the Virgo season that we're in, and because of the most recent solar eclipse that we had. I believe that the solar eclipse happened as a reflection of light and dark in our universe, and that every single human being and organism on Earth are actually going through things with the light and the dark as well, whether we see it as that or not. So, I just really felt my guides encouraging me to talk a lot about the light and the dark this month. So that is why I'm doing that, guys. And also, I'm on my very own personal journey with the light and the dark as well. And I just wanted to share a little bit about that. I feel very passionate about this video, but as far as how it goes, I just want to express a little bit about what I think about the light and the dark. And that's pretty much what this is going to be, just my own experience with the light and the dark, and my own kind of channeling information about that with this Pisces full moon coming tonight and everything like that. So I really think that it's important that we understand the differences between light and dark as human beings and as people on this planet, And as I said that, it kind of raised the thought of, I wonder if humans are the only species that actually battle with that, because I think animals understand light and dark just fine. That's why animals actually behave differently when there's things like eclipses, and when there's a storm coming, the animals actually know. And see, that's how you can look at dark energy a little bit. So maybe we should talk a little bit about that as well, like what light and dark actually is. And this is going to be, I'm not really sure how long this video will be. Just, I felt the need to upload this information along with my videos, just in case, certain people were like, what? With the dark, whatever. Because in spirituality, one thing I want to mention is that the light is like, for some reason, very broadcasted. Like, oh, wishing you love and light. And I actually watched a tarot reader. I've always thought this, and it was amazing to hear someone else have this point of view as well. Her name's Danny from Apuchi Tarot. I'll try to get her information and put it below, because she kind of helped me on the journey of light and dark as well. It was like I kind of just crossed her YouTube channel right when I was going through that kind of thing. And she really helped me to understand that, like the dark is not bad and the light is not good. Actually, all the tarot readers that I'm watching are talking about this, how the light is not bad, and I mean, the light is not good and the dark is not bad. So it's just interesting when people wish you love and light, because you're only wishing like half of me goodness. So if you think about that, every time somebody wishes you blessings and wishes you this, like, have a good day, be blessed, there's all of that kind of energy. So there's a natural imbalance between the light and the dark that we don't speak about. And most people think that it's the darkness that's bigger and the light that's, smaller. And it's just so backwards, because we literally broadcast light. We even try to broadcast beauty and things like that. And I just think it's interesting that people say that, if anything, we should wish each other light and dark. But there's a very small part of the population that understands this kind of concept. But we are all light and dark. And the way that I look at the light and the dark are like masculine and feminine energies. Now, it makes sense to me. I've learned all this stuff at different times, because man, like I said on my other videos, I literally have lived the first portion of my life, like I'm 22, the first 21 years of my life, I lived and I tried to live up to the light, and that happens a lot in religions too. They make you feel like you're living up to a certain energy, or like there's this really blessed and good energy that you have to like get on the same level of, or you'll go to this place called hell. Let's just get this straight right now. I don't believe in a heaven and hell like that. I believe in energy, and the fact that I believe in energy has really helped me with this light and the dark thing, because that's all light and dark is. Light is light energy, and dark is dark energy. And the main point about that is that the light is only capable of showing us so much. The main reason the way I look at it is that the sun is a very good representation of light energy. The sun is light, and it's a masculine planetary object, because masculine energy is light. Because if you think about it, masculine energy, even with the masculine energies you may know on this planet, they have to be aware of things, okay? That's one thing I really wanted to talk about, is how the light and the sun are symbolic for what we're aware of. And the moon and the dark energy is symbolic for what we hide, what lies beneath the surface. Because when we meet people, we don't just tell them everything about us. There's certain things about us that we're not aware of. So there's light and dark inside us, there's light and dark in others, and light and dark between like what we actually are together, you know what I mean? So the light is what you're aware of. And I believe that masculine energies, the bold energies, headstrong energies, the more physical energies, that's the masculine energy. They need to be aware of things. If I was physical, physical things are tangible and feelable, and men and masculine energy work better around that. Now, the moon comes out at nighttime, and it goes through phases, and there's always things hidden about the moon, and it's more of a dark, mysterious, feminine energy. And women are more intuitive and more empathic. This is just how energies go. And of course, there can be mix in between, you know what I mean? I am very feminine, but I also have a lot of masculine traits about me, and everyone has masculine and feminine traits differently. Maybe some people have kind of a masculine walk or a feminine walk, and I don't like labels that much, but these energies do play out in our charts. And reading my astrology chart has also helped me a lot, guys. This whole journey began with me finding out my moon sign. I've always been an astrologer, or I've always been into astrology, I should say. As a very young girl in high school, I found out I was a Pisces, and I thought that was amazing. Pisces usually are pretty spiritual in some way or another. So I knew I was a Pisces, but literally I have not even known for that long, maybe not even a full complete year yet. I have not known about my rising sign and my moon sign. And our moon sign is our darkness, okay? Our Lilith is our darkness. My moon sign is Taurus. So it's interesting how my natal chart explains how the part I hide about myself is that I'm pretty stubborn. I don't really come off that way when someone first meets me, but the hidden part of my personality is that I'm pretty fixed and I'm pretty stubborn. But my sun sign is Pisces. And see, then another thing is, guys, is that I am not a Pisces. I just represent Pisces energy. We are not our zodiac signs. Our zodiac signs exist in the universe, okay? The zodiac wheel is real, and it exists in our universe, and we were born when the sun was in a certain position. If you're a Scorpio, you were born, at some time around when the sun was in Scorpio. When I was born, the sun was almost in the middle of Pisces at 14 degrees. So I represent Pisces energy, and that's what I'm aware of. The sun, my masculine energy is in a water sign. So I'm aware of spiritual things, I'm aware of emotions, I'm aware of feelings and psychic, dreams, stuff like that. So it's interesting to see where your masculine energy would be and where your feminine energy would be. Okay, so let's see. I had a couple of notes here about the light and the dark. Light is awareness. Okay, so everything we're aware of, which is also our sun sign, everything we're aware of, everything we're physically aware of. The sun rules our physical bodies as well. So light is awareness, light is masculine awareness energy, and the feminine is dark and hidden energy. And like I was saying, feminine energy is dark and hidden because women are behind the scenes, we're just, masculine energy is just different. It's different than feminine energy. And I believe as far, even when how women get pregnant, that's behind the scenes, that's in a womb, all this stuff happens beneath the surface. Women are more concerned about what's going on. And when I say women, that's still the human part of me. My spiritual self is trying to say is feminine energy, because I could be referring to a masculine energy when I say women or when I say female, and I believe in all in between. This energy has a very, very interesting, mysterious way of working itself out. very, very interesting. And even when we talk about twin flames and how there's a masculine and a feminine energy, you know, it's just balanced. The light and the dark are balanced. And that's my main point here today, guys, is that is balance, you know, yin and yang. It is balance, and we have been separated from our darkness, and we haven't though. There's this illusion that we're separated from our darkness when it's inside us. And so think about how painful that is, to be separate from something that's located inside us, and that's dark energy. Like that, we actually are creating our own dark energy by letting society kind of close us in and box us in with our own darknesses. People are ashamed of their sexuality or their skin or how they look or their grades or how much money they make. That's all initiated darkness. And I do believe that there's just straight up empty vessels here on this planet that their main job is just to put out more light or dark, make someone feel more dark. You know, like those, you ever think of why certain people, things happen for a reason. When you bump into that girl at the store, you know, when things just ruin your mood, it was to level out your dark or light energy. And this could be related to our moods as well. Like a light mood would be happy and joyful and blissful and calm. And a negative masculine energy would be anger or rage or envy or jealousy. And it's not because men are that way and women are that way. It's because of the vibration we're at when we feel those emotions. I believe the lower vibration would be the feminine energies, and the higher vibrations would be the masculine energies. So it's all about balance, you guys. You mean, like, the dark is just as important as the light. And I think that's the main thing that's not really understood about this concept. And I'm talking mostly to the people who are going to react in a really strange way to my videos. You know, like, it's really bad that we compare the dark to like the devil and evil and all that, when I mean, I guess they dwell in the realm of darkness because they can't exist at a vibration that's higher than them. So you're not going to see a demon at a high vibration, you know. That's why when you meditate, you're safe, you know what I mean? Because you're raising your vibration to a level where only good things are. But when you get lower, you know how they say when you're arguing or when you're in a negative vibration, if there's a spirit in your house, it can get stronger. It's because you're feeding it the level that it's at. So that's all that is there. Like, this energy can be alchemized with. And another thing is I just really feel like for a really long time, no one talks about this, but they are separating us from the light and the dark. It can even go back to the Zeus story, where Zeus separated us as human beings. You know, I was thinking today, what if we were separated from our darkness, and that's what we have to find about ourselves? Because I have just felt so great after I've accepted my own darkness. And guys, you know, to do that, this has been a long journey for me. It started with my moon sign. A little while after I figured out I had a Taurus moon sign. I have a 0-degree Taurus moon sign. And I've been keeping up with the planets. This was months ago. I started to notice something about myself every time the moon transited Taurus. Every time the moon was in Taurus, I would get in these huge fights with my girlfriend. Like, this evil side would come out of me, and it was just because I had stepped into a journey that I wasn't aware of yet, that obviously the universe deemed me ready for. Well, I was on this journey, and I was finding out new information, and I was on the path of other really, really awesome astrologers, learning this new information religiously. And that put me at a higher frequency, and it put me at a frequency where I had to get my soul had to evolve as well. But before you can evolve the soul, you have to evolve who you are as a person. You have to have a vessel that is evolved for that soul first. It's kind of like a shell, like how a crab would need a bigger shell. So I was working on my vessel a lot and a lot of my energy, and you know, I had just began to realize my dark energy. Sometimes we suppress things, and we create our own darkness. We create our own darkness with the help of some fucked up people in the world sometimes, and we also sign up for our darkness. So people who find themselves homeless or brokenhearted, you know, these are all pains that were designed for us. It's like we have this perfect yin and yang key with us being human, and we have the perfect amount of darkness. You know, our darkness is designed. You know how they say God won't put you through anything that you can't get through? It's because he designed this battle for you, and it's not even necessarily dark or bad. It's evolution. The light and the dark play off of each other, and they dance, and it's an evolution process. They're growing together, and there'll always be balance. But for as long as there are beings living in a realm of reality where so many people lie about their dark, so many people do things in the name of dark or in the name of light, and it's just not right. We have light workers who are actually dark. We have dark workers who are actually light, and we're going to call those double agents, like Magic Mike calls them. And a double agent is someone who basically is a dark energy, but actually, like, you see how this can work, and it doesn't mean good or bad. It's just someone who has dark energy, and so a vibration, and so they work for a certain thing. They have certain abilities about them, and we don't choose this. Like, we do in a way, but it's not like we can choose again in this realm. We've already chosen, is what I believe. It was already here, or it's in the making during this life. Okay, the dark and the light about us, but it's very unique. Some people's darknesses get along, some people's lights get along, some people's darknesses don't get along. Have you ever been around someone that just gave you a bad vibe and they just kind of sucked your energy dry? Yeah, it's because your energies are fighting frequencies. So what I was going to say, especially about the dark not being bad, and it's good to find out what is dark and good about you, and it's good to find out, and I can't tell you that. I had to find this out on my own. It's something that you'll just know when you're on a spiritual journey. When you're on your spiritual journey, part of a spiritual journey is finding out what side you work for, the light or the dark. Not good or bad, but just light or dark. And that is determined by a lot of things. But for those of you who want to know, this is a pretty good representation of how to know. So the dark is what we don't know about ourselves, okay? Because it's hidden. So when we're born, there's certain things the world immediately starts telling us. Oh, you're so pretty. You have such a pretty smile. Oh, like they imprint things on us. And as kids, we just soak that up. So what we're told ultimately becomes what we're aware of. Isn't that weird? And what we're told that becomes we're aware of actually winds up ricocheting our dark. So because whatever we're aware of is one thing, and that leaves this whole general area of what we're not aware of. You know what I mean? By that, it could play out in millions of different ways, but I think this is how it happens. So we're forced and molded into this type of thing. Okay, we gain these perceptions, we gain this kind of identity about ourselves. And while we're doing that, and while we're kind of gaining our own character, there's these things that we're actually not knowing about ourselves. And that's what areas in life that we don't work enough on. Okay, I didn't work on it until I was 22. And I just kind of wish I would have knew it all along, but I know that there were certain things that I had to do and that I wasn't ready for. So the dark is what we don't know about ourselves, and it's what we struggle with. It's what we are insecure about. So my dark is sometimes I can be over emotional. Everything I do has emotion in it. And it's funny how certain characteristics about us can be either good or bad, because the fact that I'm emotional sometimes helps me pick up on vibes that maybe someone else couldn't pick up on. Sometimes because I'm emotional, I'm able to really, really sympathize with a person and really make them feel better. Okay, I think it's a good thing to be emotional, but I've had to learn, which was very tough for me, that it can be very dark. It causes, that's my own personal darkness that I chose for myself. I thought that I was brave and big enough to handle emotional darkness, the emotional darknesses of others, the emotional darkness of myself. So what is it that you're insecure of, or what is it that you hide about yourself? And that is your dark energy. And once you figure that out, it won't even feel scary. People think of the dark as like demons hidden inside of us and things like that because of how the movies portray these evil and light energies. But that's just to sell product. That's just to get money. Like, as a spiritualist, dark and light are energies, and they're inside us, and it's what makes us who we are. So the light is basically the gifts that we're given, right? You know how some of us are just here and we just have these certain like niches in life. We have this like certain goals and ambitions, and like I have a gift of song. I sing pretty well, and I have a gift with words. I have gift with spirituality. And the reason why that is considered light is because that's how we shine. That's how we shine in the world. Some people shine by acting or singing or rapping or writing, or maybe, they're very creative and they're an artist, or, anything. It's what you feel good about. Because when I sing, I feel a light energy because I just know that I'm meant to do that. And when I do these tarot videos and when I do astrology, I just feel light. So that's me accessing my light energy, because I'm bringing light to other people, and it's what I'm aware of. What we're aware of is ultimately the gifts that we have and obtain in the world. So if you want to know, I really suggest that you do a meditation and invoke your angel guides to kind of lead you down a vision quest. And after you take that step, you'll be amazed, because the weeks to come, you'll just see this sign and you'll hear a certain song, and you'll ironically start watching a movie. and you'll hear about the light and the dark, or it'll be the funniest way. Could be a cartoon, you might hear a conversation in a store or something, and you're just going to understand your light and dark better, and it's going to let you know what you have, what side you are on, or what team you play for. So the easiest way for me to understand this is that, okay, you know how we all have an element. Okay, so if you know your astrology sign, you should definitely know what kind of element, your elemental tribe. So earth, no, let's start with fire and air are the light signs. Okay, so if you have your sun sign in fire or air, then you're aware of light. You're aware of the light. You were born with the awareness of the light. Now, your moon sign is interesting, because if your moon sign is in a light, if your moon sign is an air sign or a fire sign, then you have the soul of light. You have a good, like a light soul, not good or bad. You have a light soul. And that means that your soul vibrates at a certain vibration that maybe a dark energy cannot. You know what I mean? It's really a battle to understand these things and not immediately go to good or bad, because as humans we classify and we must know where things go, we must know what things are, and it gets a little classified up in here, but energies aren't meant to be contained. They're barely even meant to be understood. So this is going to be a battle with this. We have to retrain ourselves basically not to judge these energies, because we even think about it, even in the movies we watched as Disney, okay, there's a light energy and there's a dark energy, and what do? The light energies always win. The light energy is always good. The dark energy is always bad, and the dark energy is always losing, and always, what I mean though? That's a perfect example of how we've been brainwashed with this, because in every movie and every good story, why is it that the dark is portrayed like that and the light is portrayed like that? So we literally, that's a good representation of how our minds literally go. So when you think of Ursula and you think of Ariel and King Triton, you know which one is light and dark out of that, but then you automatically know that they're bad or good, and that's just not how it could work in our realm. Like, I know they want to sell books and movies and stuff, so that's cool, I guess. And then there's some really cool authors and producers who really put a spin on light and dark energy, like Billy and Mandy, how there's a Grim Reaper. He's not bad, and I love that. I think there should be more people out there that understand, and there are people who are for the dark, so let's reveal that. So how fire and air are the light, well, water and earth are dark. And at first I didn't like to hear that. I didn't believe it. I was like, no, I'm not dark, I'm a light sign, because I love light. I'm such a beautiful person, and I just care so much. So this is where I struggled with my journey, because I'm like, what? Like, I can't be dark. But that is exactly what made me dark. I have blown up. I have I don't anymore, but I had pent up rage and pent up feelings, and I was holding on to heartbreak and all these nasty things. And it was not realizing my own darkness that kept that shit inside me. As soon as I realized my own darkness, it was like no one else could tell me anything bad about myself, because I know the darkest, deepest shit about myself. It's like cleaning out your closet, like the skeletons in it. Yeah, when you do that, it doesn't matter who goes in there and finds whatever, because you're like, oh yeah, I already knew that was in there, and you own it. You know what I mean? Instead of feeling embarrassed, like that's why we're afraid and why we're separated, because we diss each other. We judge each other based off of what we struggle with and what we can do, and so we actually cast judgment on our light and dark. But, if you're a water sign or if you're an earth sign, you're dark. You work for the dark side. You're here, and they're both important, guys. We can't have the light without the dark, okay? We would not be able to see the stars and see the sun and see the moon without darkness. We have day and we have night. The daytime and the nighttime don't argue, all right? They just get along and they just shine. The sun shines when it can, and then the moon is patient and it comes out when it's its turn, and the sun rises again in the morning. They get along fine. The universe handles light and dark energy fine. We have dark matter in space. Every planet has dark in a light mass. Okay? When you get into that, that's a whole different story. How, Venus. Oh no, well, let's start with Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars, but so is Scorpio. And Aries is the light aspect of Mars. Scorpio is the dark aspect of Mars. And Venus, Libra is the light aspect of Venus, and Taurus is the dark aspect of Venus. We all have the two ruling, like the planets, like Pisces is Sagittarius. Sag is the light side of Neptune. I'm the dark, Pisces is the dark side of Neptune. And it's all because of the frequencies. I'm dreamy. I know that Sagittarius is rightfully the light side of Jupiter because their thoughts are optimistic. Their thoughts are encouraging and uplifting and forward moving. When I use Jupiter, it's more so to find out the occult type of things. Like, wow, I make connections between the dark and I make connections. It's because I'm a water sign and because I'm also ruled by Neptune. So, and another interesting thing that I think personally, why the light and the dark are the fire and air signs and the earth and water. Okay, because remember how we said light is what you're aware of, and light is what is physical and physically here. Well, fire is physical, and fire actually is light. Like if I lit a fire in a dark room, there would be light. Fire is warmth and light, and that's just what light is. So Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo are the light signs. In air, I know that you can't see air, but it's still above ground. Okay, this is my main point here, is that as above, so below. So the light is above, and then when you want to get, because you know how some people everyone's different, and not everybody likes talking about this kind of stuff. Most people get freaked out. Okay, I don't really get along with those people because my mind doesn't leave this place. Like I'm always thinking about like deep shit. And it really goes off of what you're into and stuff like that. But I think that the dark is what lies beneath. It's the hidden secrets about things. So water is literally beneath. You go under the surface. You can't see things. It's mysterious. There's a whole world. The ocean is infinite, just like the universe, and we don't really realize that. But there's a whole world that we can't explore fully. You know what I mean? So water is definitely dark because it stands for emotions, and emotions are dark. Not all of them, but the fact that we have emotions as humans, it is a dark aspect. It's something that limits us in a way, but it also makes this physical experience better. So it's just a balance. I think everything can be looked at as light and dark. Even this phone, it's really light because I get to talk to whoever I want and I get to communicate with people across the world and within a second. But it can be dark when I'm like drawn to it and really addicted to it, and you know what I mean? So really this whole message is that a little bit of something is fine, but too much is suddenly bad. I remember when I heard that quote, and it just makes a lot of sense to me. So my main thing, guys, is that the dark is not bad and the light is not good. And it's interesting how we even think that. We know that from a different realm, and I think that has even carried into this universe as far as racism goes. The darker your skin is, you're not good. You know how we have racism like that, and white privilege is like the light end of it, and white privilege. So it's interesting how it even goes with that, but really we're all one, and there's only one human race, and we should be together. So it's really interesting. If you are earth or water sign, I want you to think about the certain dark aspects of you. And the reason why earth is dark as well is because earth is also as above, so below. Earth has roots. You can see a tree, but there's roots underneath that tree, and that's what is as above, so below. And just like you can see the surface, it's like surface based. Air and fire are just surface based. Not that they're not deep or anything like that, but the energy that you secrete, you know what I'm saying? Even the air and fire signs I know, like, they're just chill on the surface, and like they're just cool with things being like this. But you get with the earth or a water sign and you get mysterious. There's mysterious going on there, and there's just certain things, okay? So if you're a fire sign, just take honor in that. You may have a mixture of all, okay? I have a Capricorn rising, a Taurus moon, and a Pisces sun. I'm all dark, even though I have very light qualities about it. So, really, guys, I just think that you should challenge yourself to list out the light and dark qualities of yourself, especially with this Pisces full moon. It is Virgo season. The sun is in Virgo and the moon is in Pisces, and this is an opposition here. This is about the illusion, okay? And I'm talking about the illusion between the light and the dark right now. I think that this illusion is important to kind of reveal because we don't know enough about the light and the dark. But as I wrote and as I focused and reflected on the light and the dark, I knew myself more than anything. I know the dark aspects to myself. I know my abilities and gifts and talents. So it's really self-awareness. And there is an energy that I can't quite name. Not that I'm afraid to or don't want to, but I just can't put my finger on it. Maybe I'm not supposed to be aware of it as a human, but there's an energy here that Its main purpose is to keep human knowledge from expanding and understanding the light and the dark as one. For as long as the dark is over here and the light is over here, just like racism, just like sexism, just like anything, oh, they separate men and female. Now that's deep. They separate man from female. They separate white from black. They separate everything. Light from dark, good from bad. When really we should just combine the two, because I don't know about you, but I'd rather someone be real about me, be real about who they are entirely, you know what I mean, than have a hidden agenda and all that. People aren't aware enough of the dark. And that's because the sun is awareness and the moon is what you hide. So it's almost like what we're aware of is hidden. You know what I mean? And this is a thing that has been going on forever. And eventually all human beings are going to awaken into an enlightenment, and they're going to realize what's good and bad about themselves, and we're going to excel, and we're going to all, but I don't want this to happen quite all at the same time, because that would just be really, really like nothing happens all at once. Okay, so gradually throughout the years, you know what I'm saying, we will all one day understand this, and when we do, that's when the universe will have no more purpose. So there's a reason why these entities fight like that. And my main example for that is like, just remember how powerful that Leo eclipse was. Remember how everybody there and their mother and sister and grandpa were out watching this eclipse, right? Or thinking about this eclipse or posting about this eclipse. And it was powerful and everyone wanted to see it, and you need these glasses to see it or whatever. So the eclipse is light and dark lining up. So how do you think, how powerful do you think it would be if we had an eclipse inside us? Because that's exactly what it is. So there are basically people who are trying to keep the eclipse from happening in humans. And the eclipse will happen when your dark and your light align. You'll be ready for your journey and you'll be completely enlightened, you know what I mean? And it'll be a path. No one's like all the way enlightened. There's always more to know. But it starts by understanding your own personal dark and your own personal light. And that is my Pisces full moon, really weird way of explaining all that. You know, there's always more to say. I just usually press record and just talk, you know what I mean? I usually just like to channel these things. I don't want to kind of, it doesn't have to be like something that's right or wrong. You know, I'm open to everyone's opinions about light and dark, but I know that there are certain religions that, you know, they say that the devil and sin is dark and that God is light, you know, and that's just, I know that anything that separates the light and the dark ain't for me, because I'm just a part of that movement. I'm a part of those individuals who think that we should have the yin and yang. I think that everything's balanced, and I don't think that it's a successful and healthy approach to hide a part of us and basically neglect a part of us, because what happens when you neglect something and try to hide it? Well, it just secretly eats away at you. So I got tired of that, you know. I just wanted to own my darkness. Now my darkness is my best friend and my light's chilling and we're all fine. And I'm able to help people more and read my tarot more and channel the light and the dark more. You know, it opens up doors. I'm not going to lie. You know, you're more aware of certain darknesses and, you know, you're more vulnerable to certain things. But it's a path I'm willing to take, especially to be self-aware, because I think that that's really important to know who we are, because we're all made uniquely. So get to know the light and dark in you around this Pisces full moon. It's not gonna happen overnight, you guys. This is an ongoing thing. This is an ongoing journey. And I look forward to making even more videos about these kind of topics. This is just something real quick that I did while getting out the shower, and I have to get going, you know what I mean? And I've been thinking about this all day, and I'll be thinking about it all night, and I'm probably gonna do some writing. And you know, I just love the moon. That's another thing, before I go, is that if you're a light or a dark, you will understand, because there's certain characteristics to both. I've always stayed up late, always. I can't go to bed before 3 a.m. no matter what. That's why it sucks when I have something to do early the next day, because I can't go to sleep. I just love the vibe of the night. I love owls, you know, I love the stars. I'm an astrologer. So certain people were chosen to walk the path of night. And I think the path of night, the path of dark, is very interesting because it's the misunderstood path. The light path is a beautiful path as well. It was one I thought I was walking, you know, but I walk the shadow path, which is a balance between the two. I'm a shadow worker now. I used to be a light worker. I was trying to be, but I'm not all light. So I'm a shadow worker. Sometimes I work with the night, sometimes I work with the light. And I just like it that way. You know, I'm a Pisces, so I am light and dark. So maybe the mutable signs understand it a little better, but you know, just try not to be judgmental towards yourself, and maybe looking at things a little bit differently like this can open your mind a little bit to the things in the world. After I learned that nothing is good or bad, I literally exercise that in people, places, everything. I always tell myself that nothing's good or bad. So when something happens to me, it's not good or bad. It's just is, you know? So this is a spiritually enlightened path when you just you get on the train of just simply experiencing your life. Not a good life, not a bad life, but just a life, you know what I mean? Just live it to the fullest. All the darkness can teach you, all the light can uplift you, and that's how they work together. You know, the dark is the light's friend, and there's only certain things that the dark can show you. Angels can't show you what's negative about you. They don't work that way. That would be against the the vibrational law that they follow. So they need certain challenges and things. You know, there's one thing I can say before I go is that I'd be lying if I told you that the darkness in my life led me the wrong way. Every dark thing that has happened to me has made me such a beautiful person. The dark and the light play off of each other, friends. And, you know, if we came together more and stopped being freaking Walmart workers that have to categorize everything and label everything, you know, things just are. I don't want to be labeled anymore. I don't want to be put in a certain box or category because I'm ever changing. And part of understanding that was the beginning of understanding my moon sign and my sun sign and my masculine and feminine energy. So I really hope that this message helped you guys. I gotta get going, but look out for that Pisces full moon tonight. I was gonna do a video about that, but I just don't have time, guys. I just can't do it all. So what I will say about that Pisces full moon before I go is that this is a spiritual moon, you guys. I'm going to post about it, you know, so you can get me on Facebook. I am going to post. I always post about the moon. I follow the moon, the lunar cycles, because I'm dark. I work for the dark. I'm the shadow worker. So I keep up with the moon. I'm a moon child, you know what I mean? So yeah, this moon, you know, for it to be in Pisces, it's obviously any Pisces energy. If you have a Pisces moon, especially if you have a Pisces moon, okay, I'm just aware of Pisces energy. If you have a soul of a Pisces or the spirit of a Pisces, your rising sign, this moon will also affect you. I have a Pisces second house, so this is like my values and my money and finances will be changed. This is a completion and a new beginning energy. So there are certain things that are going to spiritually renew themselves for you. That's what I think about this Pisces full moon. You know, it's all about spirituality, dreams, illusions. It's all about that. It's all about that. And it's all about being one. You know, maybe that's why I'm stressing so much about this light and the dark, because I'm connected to the universe, and I know that that's a huge part that is hindering the fact that we do not feel a oneness with our spiritual Gaia, like with the spirit of our actual planet is not one, because the people who inhabit her are not one. So there's this battle, you know, that's going to continue to go on for however long divine timing wants it to. But that is what's keeping us separate, you guys, and that's why I'm harping on that right now, because Virgo knows, Libra knows, there's certain enlightened people who know, and I'm here to use my time as a Pisces. This is my message for you guys. I didn't feel right without giving you something about that, about the light and the dark. But that is what my spirit guides have led me to do, and what they have really stressed. It's been on my mind even when I go to sleep, things like that. So I really hope that this helped, guys, and this is my message for you. Other than that, just make sure maybe drink some water. I was going to take a shot with you guys. I didn't know I would do it in this video, though. And I was going to do a certain ritual, but maybe that'll be for another time, especially when we have the Cancer full moon or something like that, or maybe the Scorpio moon. That's coming up. Maybe I'll do it then. It must not have been meant to be. We ain't ready for that kind of shit yet. But all right, guys, I gotta get out of here. Just make sure, for me, I'm just gonna be doing a lot of writing and meditating tonight, and I just make sure you're in a pretty good spiritual place, you know, not around negative, harsh energies or anything like that. Pisces energy is all about feeling everything all at once. And another thing about this moon is that it's combining all the moons, because Pisces is all the signs. So, you know, that's why it's spiritual. So the Aries full moon we had back in March, and then you know, all the moons that we have had so far. So I guess it would be the Libra moon. And then in Taurus season we had the Scorpio moon. Okay, we've had all these moons, and even the new moon energy. It's all going to combine tonight in Pisces, because Pisces is the perfect alchemist. The energy of Pisces can alchemize with all different elements and all different people and textures and things and sizes. So that's all going to be placed in one. So this is like kind of a wild card in Uno. This is like one of those wild things. Anything can happen. Anything can happen, guys. Anything can happen. But isn't it fun? So just, that's good advice to leave you on, okay? Go with the flow. That's what I do as a Pisces. Like, I freak out about the flow and I do this and I do that. But for the most part, I just let flow. Okay, so just flow. Whatever happens, just flow with it. Just try to figure out why it happened. Don't try to say if it's bad or good. Don't say if it's light and dark. It just is. Okay, and that's how you're gonna get through this, guys. This energy is really gonna spark some things off, and I'm really excited to speak more with you guys in the future to see about all that has changed, because change is definitely in the air. I feel it as a Pisces, and I'm trying my best to just flow with these energies, and that's what gets me on. That's what gets me going. So that's my message for you guys. I hope it helps, and I will talk to you, who knows.